Welcome to this peaceful journey into deep, restorative sleep. Allow my voice to be your gentle companion as we explore one of Elara Finch's most beloved Drowsy Night tales, a story designed not merely to entertain, but to guide you naturally and effortlessly into the most profound slumber. Tonight, you need only listen and receive as the words create a path toward perfect rest. Take a moment now to settle into your chosen sleeping position. Perhaps adjust your pillow one final time. Ensure your blankets are arranged just as you prefer them. Make any last small movements that will allow your body to remain comfortable and undisturbed for the duration of our journey together. There will be no need to move again until morning's light. Should you choose to rest that long, begin to notice your breathing, not to change it in any way, but simply to observe its natural rhythm. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the subtle movement of your abdomen, the cool air entering through your nostrils, and the slightly warmer air as you exhale. This breathing has sustained you every moment of your life, and now it will carry you gently towards sleep. As you continue to breathe naturally and effortlessly. Allow your awareness to expand to include the points where your body makes contact with the surface beneath you. Notice how these contact points feel increasingly heavy with each passing moment, as if gravity were becoming slightly stronger, drawing you downward with gentle insistence. This pleasant heaviness is one of the first signs that your body is preparing for sleep. The world outside your resting place continues its activities, but those sounds and concerns grow more distant with each breath you take, like stars fading. At dawn, the events of your day begin to lose their brightness and urgency. They remain as gentle impressions rather than demanding presence acknowledged, but no longer requiring your attention or energy. Tonight's journey comes from Elara Finch's collection of Drowsy Nights stories that exist in that perfect twilight space between wakefulness and dreams, where the mind can wander freely through landscapes designed specifically to encourage the deepest, most restorative sleep. These are not stories you need to remember or analyze. They are experiences to receive, pathways to follow as far as you wish before sleep claims your consciousness completely. As we prepare to begin our drowsy night journey, take 3 slightly deeper breaths with me now. With the first breath in, invite relaxation to enter your body, and with the exhale, release any tension or discomfort. With the second breath in, feel a wave of heaviness moving through your limbs. And with the exhale, let your body sink more deeply into the surface, supporting you. With the third breath in, imagine drawing in perfect tranquility. And with the exhale, let your mind begin to slow and quiet. Like water settling in a peaceful pool, the title of tonight's drowsy journey is The Lantern Keeper's Rounds, a tale of gentle evening rituals, of light and shadow, of the quiet magic that occurs when day surrenders to night. As this story unfolds, you may notice your thoughts beginning to drift, your eyelids becoming heavier, your breath finding its natural sleeping rhythm. All of these responses are perfect and welcome. If at any point you drift into sleep before, our journey is complete. That's absolutely perfect, exactly as it should be. There's no need to follow every word or visualization. Your subconscious mind will continue to receive the benefits of this experience even as you slip into deeper states of rest. And should you find your mind occasionally wandering, that too is natural and welcome. Like a boat that temporarily drifts from its mooring before being gently guided back, your attention may drift and return throughout our journey. There's no need to exert effort or concentration. Simply allow my voice to be the gentle current that returns you to our shared path. Whenever necessary. And so our journey begins. As the first stars appear in the evening sky and the lantern keeper prepares for his nightly rounds, a journey through deepening twilight toward the perfect darkness where the most restful sleep awaits. In a village nestled between rolling hills and a tranquil river, evening arrives with a gentleness that seems almost deliberate, as if day is careful not to depart too abruptly, mindful of the transition it creates. Shadows lengthen across cobblestone streets. The air cools to a perfect sleeping temperature, and windows begin to glow with the warm light of homes preparing for night's embrace. As these changes unfold, a solitary figure emerges from a small stone cottage at the village edge. This is Thorn, the lantern keeper, a man whose life has been dedicated to the respectful ushering in of darkness. Neither young nor old, his face bears the peaceful expression of someone who has found perfect harmony between purpose and being. His movements are unhurried yet precise, like the hands of a clock that measures time without being governed by it. As Thorn begins his evening rounds, carrying his long lighting staff and leather bag of supplies, imagine yourself as a peaceful observer, watching from a state of perfect relaxation. There is nothing for you to do but witness this gentle ritual that has occurred every evening for more generations than anyone can remember. The first lanterns. Thorn approaches line the stone bridge that spans the river at the village entrance. These lanterns, crafted from amber glass and aged copper, stand on elegant posts that curve slightly inward over the water. As Thorn extends his lighting staff to the first lantern, a small flame appears at its tip, conjured through some combination of simple chemistry and quiet magic that requires no explanation. With a gentle touch, he transfers this flame to the lantern's wick. The glass glows to life, casting a circle of golden light onto the gently moving water below. This first illumination of evening carries particular significance and acknowledgement that the boundary between day and night is sacred, deserving of attention and care. As you observe this peaceful scene, begin to notice how your own body is responding to the gradually deepening twilight. Perhaps your breathing has already slowed to match the lantern keeper's unhurried pace. Perhaps your muscles have begun to release their holding patterns, surrendering to the surface supporting you. This natural response requires no effort from you, simply allow it to unfold at its own perfect pace. Thorn continues across the bridge, lighting each lantern in turn. Each new pool of light seems to have its own character, some dancing playfully on the water's surface, others creating steady, unwavering circles of illumination. Together they transform the bridge from a mere crossing to a pathway of gentle guidance, much like the path you're following now toward restful sleep. From the bridge, Thorn follows the main village street, where lanterns of varying heights and designs await his attention. Some are mounted on the walls of shops and homes, others stand freely along the cobblestone walkway. Each has been positioned with care to create not harsh brightness, but gentle waypoints, enough light to guide, not so much as to disturb. As the lantern keeper moves through the village, notice that other activities are quieting. Shopkeepers close their doors with soft clicks rather than loud latches. Conversations become murmurs rather than exclamations. Children are called home, not with sharp whistles, but with gentle names carried on the evening air. The entire village participates in this graceful transition from activity to rest. Let's use this moment of collective quieting to bring awareness to your own body, starting with your feet. Notice any sensations present there. Any tension, any holding. With your next exhale, allow your feet to release completely, toes uncurling, arches softening, ankles relaxing. Imagine that all the walking, standing, and supporting they've done today is acknowledged and now complete. They can rest fully until morning light. The same release can flow upward through your legs, calves softening, knees releasing, thighs becoming heavy and still. Like soil settling after gentle rain, let your lower body find its perfect state of rest. As Thorn reaches the village square, he approaches a central fountain where water flows in a continuous musical pattern from stone basins. Surrounding this fountain are lanterns of particular beauty, their glass panels painted with scenes of night skies, crescent moons, and evening stars. As each is lit, these images seem to come alive, projected in subtle patterns on the cobblestones and rippling water surface. Continuing our journey of relaxation, bring your awareness to your hips and lower back. These areas often hold tension from sitting, standing, or moving throughout your day. With your next few breaths, allow this central area of your body to release completely into the surface supporting you. Feel any tightness melting away, any discomfort dissolving as your lower back finds its neutral, supported position. The square now illuminated. Thorn turns toward a gentle slope that leads to the village chapel, a small stone building whose simple beauty derives from proportion rather than ornamentation. The path to its door is lined with lanterns of blue-tinted glass, creating a cooler, more silvery light that suggests the transition from evening to true night. As the lantern keeper lights these blue lanterns one by one, bring your awareness to your breathing, perhaps already deeper and slower than when we began. Allow each inhale to fill your lungs completely without effort, each exhale to empty them without rushing. This natural rhythm connects you to the most fundamental cycle of life, receiving and releasing, expanding and contracting, awakening and resting. Let this same quality of relaxed breathing extend to your chest and shoulders. With each exhale, feel your shoulders dropping slightly lower, moving away from your ears, releasing their protective holding. Your chest can soften, creating more space for your breath, more room for your heart to beat at its perfect resting. Rhythm. Thorn has now reached the chapel door, where a special lantern hangs, larger than the others, its glass clear rather than colored, its flame particularly steady. As he lights this lantern, a warm glow illuminates a stone bench placed nearby, a spot where villagers sometimes sit in evening contemplation, transitioning from day's activities to night stillness. Imagine that you can see this bench from your perspective as observer. It looks perfectly comfortable, smooth stone, warmed by the day's sun, now radiating that gentle heat back into the cooling air. In your mind's eye, see yourself sitting on this bench, feeling its solid support beneath you, its warmth transferring to your body. This visualization deepens the relaxation already developing in your physical form. As Thorn continues his rounds, moving now toward the eastern edge of the village, notice how the sky has deepened from pale twilight to a richer blue, not yet the full darkness of night, but the perfect transitional shade that signals to bodies and minds that the time for sleep approaches. This natural progression from light to dark has guided human sleep for thousands of generations, and your body recognizes it at a level deeper than conscious thought. The lantern keeper's path now takes him past homes where families are completing their evening rituals, curtains being drawn, children being settled into beds, voices quieting to match the gathering darkness. His presence in the streets is both practical and symbolic, providing physical light while also honoring the natural transition that sleep requires. As this first part of our journey concludes, take a moment to notice how different your body and mind feel compared to when we began. There's likely a pleasant heaviness in your limbs, a quieting of your thoughts, a sense of being held safely as you continue to release into deeper relaxation. The Lantern Keeper's rounds have only just begun, and already you're being carried gently toward the peaceful rest that awaits Dot as twilight deepens into early evening. Thorn, the Lantern Keeper, reaches a curved street lined with old linden trees. Here, the lanterns hang directly from branches, swaying gently with any breeze that passes through. Their light filters through leaves that have not yet fallen, creating dappled patterns that shift and change like thoughts in a mind. Approaching sleep, the Lantern Keeper moves with particular care along this street, for these hanging lanterns require a steadier hand to light. As he extends his staff upward to each one, his movements have the fluid quality of a ritual performed countless times, economical yet graceful, practical yet somehow reverent. Dot, as you continue to observe this peaceful scene from your state of deepening relaxation, notice how the quality of your awareness may be changing. Perhaps external sounds have receded further from your attention. Perhaps the boundary between what you're visualizing and what you're experiencing has begun to soften. This natural blending of inner and outer perception is another sign that you're moving closer to sleep's embrace. Let's use this transitional awareness to release another layer of physical tension, bringing your attention now to your neck and throat. This area often holds tension related to speaking, listening, or holding your head upright throughout the day. With your next exhale, allow your neck to lengthen slightly and release completely, as if the weight of your head were being perfectly cradled by the surface beneath you. Feel the muscles of your throat softening, creating a sense of openness and ease in this vulnerable area. Thorn has now reached a small courtyard where a well stands at the center, its stone circle worn smooth by generations of hands and water. Vessels. The lanterns here are particularly old, their metal frames darkened by time, their glass bubbled and imperfect. Yet when lit, they possess a quality that newer lanterns cannot match, a depth of amber light that seems to hold wisdom within its glow. Dot, as the Lantern Keeper lights each of these ancient fixtures. A villager approaches an elderly woman wrapped in a shawl despite the mild evening temperature. She moves slowly, using a walking stick for support, yet her eyes are bright with the particular alertness that sometimes comes with advanced age. "Good evening, Keeper," she says, her voice soft yet clear in the quiet courtyard. "Good evening, Elara," Thorn replies with a small bow of recognition. "You're abroad late this evening." The woman smiles, settling onto the stone edge of the well. "Sleep comes less eagerly to old bones," she says. "Sometimes I find it helps to watch the lanterns bloom before seeking my bed." Thorn nods, understanding in his expression. "The transition is important," he agrees. "Too many rush from daylight to darkness without honoring the space between." As you listen to this quiet exchange, bring your awareness to your face and head areas that often hold tension without our realizing it. Begin with your jaw, allowing it to release completely, creating a small space between your upper and lower teeth. Feel your tongue resting comfortably in your mouth, requiring no position or pressure. Let your cheeks soften, the small muscles around your eyes release. Your forehead becomes smooth as still water. The conversation between the Lantern Keeper and the elderly woman continues, their voices growing softer, more rhythmic, almost musical. In the gathering darkness, "Do you ever tire of it?" Elara asks. "Night after night, the same rounds, the same lanterns?" Thorn considers this as he lights the final lantern in the courtyard. "I find comfort in the repetition," he says finally. "Each night is both the same and different, like breathing." The pattern remains, but the experience changes with the seasons, the weather, the quality of light as day yields to evening. The woman nods slowly. Like sleeping and waking, she murmurs. Precisely, the lantern keeper agrees. We return to the same states again and again throughout our lives, yet each instance has its own character, its own gifts. As their words fade into comfortable silence, imagine that this wisdom extends to you as well. Each time you approach sleep, the journey is both familiar and new, returning to a state your body knows intimately, yet an experience unique to this particular night, this particular moment in your life. Let's deepen your relaxation further with a gentle countdown, each number guiding you toward a more profound state of rest. With each number, allow another layer of wakefulness to dissolve, another level of tension to release. 10. Feel your eyelids becoming heavier, as if they're being touched by evening mist cool, gentle, slightly moist, inviting them to remain closed until morning light. 9. Your breathing continues its natural rhythm, each cycle slightly deeper, slightly slower than the one before. 8. The weight of your body against the supporting surface increases slightly, a pleasant heaviness spreading from your center outward. 7. The space behind your closed eyes softens and expands, creating a sense of peaceful spaciousness in your mind. 6. Sounds, whether from the environment around you or from within our story, become less distinct, more blended, creating a gentle acoustic backdrop rather than specific inputs requiring attention. 5. Your heartbeat finds its perfect resting. Rhythm steady, quiet, efficiently delivering nourishment throughout your system without effort or strain. 4. The boundary between your body and the space around it begins to feel less distinct, as if your physical form is melting slightly into its surroundings. 3. Your thoughts become less verbal, more imagistic, floating through your awareness. Like clouds through a vast sky, requiring no engagement or response. 2. Time begins to expand and contract in unusual ways, moments stretching, intervals blurring, the linear progression becoming more fluid and dreamlike. 1. Your entire being settles into a state of receptive stillness, perfectly poised on the threshold between conscious relaxation and sleep itself. In the courtyard, Elara rises slowly from her seat at the well's edge. Thank you for the lanterns, keeper, she says, her voice now barely above a whisper, and for the reminder. Thorn inclines his head in acknowledgement. Peaceful rest when you seek it, he replies, a traditional evening blessing in this village, where the transition to sleep is honored as sacred. As the elderly woman makes her way toward home, the lantern keeper continues his rounds, moving now toward a section of the village where the houses are more widely spaced, separated by gardens and small orchards. The lanterns here are fewer but larger, designed to cast their light across greater distances. In this more open landscape, the evening sky becomes more prominent, a deepening blue canopy where the first stars have begun to appear. These distant lights, unlike the lanterns Thorn tends, require no human hand for their illumination, yet they participate in the same gradual transformation from day to night, from wakefulness to sleep. As you observe these twin sources of light, the human-tended lanterns below, the self-illuminating stars above, allow your awareness to expand to include both your physical relaxation and the peaceful scene unfolding in our visualization. This dual awareness creates a perfect transitional state, a bridge between your actual resting place and the village of our story, the lantern keeper moves steadily through this outer district, his lighting staff extending to each waiting lantern. With each new pool of light, the darkness between becomes more defined, more embracing, not as an absence, but as a presence with its own character and purpose. In the same way, the quiet spaces between your thoughts have become more prominent, more peaceful. As your mind continues its natural progression towards sleep, Thorn's path now leads him to a special area at the village outskirts, a walled garden, accessible through a rounded archway of weathered stone. Unlike the typical kitchen or flower gardens that adjoin most homes, this space is dedicated to plants that reveal their true nature only as daylight fades. These are the night flowers' blooms that open in darkness, release their fragrance after sunset, thrive in the gentle light of moon and stars. As the lantern keeper passes through the archway, the atmosphere changes subtly. The air here feels slightly cooler, more humid, filled with complex scents that seem to bypass ordinary awareness and speak directly to deeper brain structures. These fragrances, jasmine, evening primrose, night-blooming cereus, moonflower, have been used for centuries to encourage restful sleep and peaceful dreams. Imagine that as you observe this garden through our visualization, these scents reach you as well, not as harsh perfumes, but as subtle invitations to deeper relaxation. With each breath, these natural aromatics enter your system, encouraging your brain to produce the specific chemicals associated with sleep onset and maintenance. The lanterns in this garden are different from those Thorn has lit thus far on his rounds. Rather than being mounted on posts or walls, they rest directly on the ground among the plants. They're glass-tinted pale blue or soft violet to provide illumination without disturbing the flower's natural cycles. Some are partially hidden beneath broad leaves or nestled between climbing vines, creating the impression of earthbound stars glowing among the foliage. As the lantern keeper moves carefully between garden beds, lighting each lantern with practiced precision, a new quality of silence emerges, deeper than ordinary quiet, more substantial than mere absence of sound. This is the special silence of growth and opening, of natural processes unfolding according to rhythms older than human measurement. Let this profound quiet extend into your own experience now, creating space for another level of physical and mental release. As external sounds continue to recede from your awareness, notice how your internal dialogue may also be quieting, thoughts becoming less insistent, less verbal, more like impressions or images that arise and dissolve without requiring attention or response. In this peaceful internal landscape, let's bring awareness once more to your entire body, conducting a final inventory of any remaining tension. Beginning with your feet and moving upward, scan slowly through each area, inviting any last holding or tightness to dissolve completely. Notice your feet. Go. Calves and shins. Knees. Thighs. Tips and pelvis. Lower back. Middle and upper back. Chest. Shoulders. Or arms. Elbows. Forearms. Wrists. Hands and fingers. With each area you scan, allow another increment of release, another degree of surrender to the supporting surface and to the natural progression towards sleep. In the night garden, Thorn has completed lighting the ground-level lanterns and now approaches a small structure at the garden's center, a pavilion of weathered wood with an open framework that supports several climbing plants. Within this pavilion stands a stone bench, and beside it, a special lantern unlike any other in the village. This lantern, rather than housing a simple flame, contains what appears to be liquid light-luminescent substance that moves and shifts within its glass container, changing color slowly from silver to pale gold to soft blue and back again. Its glow pulses gently, almost imperceptibly, at a rate that matches the rhythm of deep, restful breathing. The lantern keeper does not light this special lantern with his staff as he has the others. Instead, he places his lighting tool aside and sits on the stone bench beside the lantern. Closing his eyes, he rests his hands on his lap, palms upward in a gesture of receptivity. After several deep, mindful breaths, he opens his eyes and simply gazes at the lantern dot as if responding to his attention. The liquid light begins to glow more intensely, its pulsations becoming slightly more pronounced, though still gentle. The colors shift more fluidly, blending into one another like thoughts transforming into dreams at the edge of sleep, from your perspective as observer. This interaction between the lantern keeper and the special light creates a hypnotic effect. The rhythmic pulsing, the fluid color changes. The perfect stillness of Thorn as he sits in communion with this mysterious illumination. Without effort or intention, you may find your own breathing synchronizing with this gentle rhythm, your own thoughts taking on a more fluid, dreamlike quality. After some timeless interval, Thorn rises from the bench. The special lantern continues, its gentle pulsing now fully activated for the night. Its light will remain until dawn, providing a central point of reference for the night flowers as they open fully to release their fragrance and receive their nocturnal pollinators, moths with pale wings that seem to glow in the darkness, bats that navigate with sound rather than sight, other creatures that thrive in the world beyond daylight. As the lantern keeper moves toward the garden exit, notice how the combination of gentle illumination, fragrant air, and profound quiet has transformed the space. What began as simply a garden has become a sanctuary of sensory harmony, a place where sight, smell, and sound work together to create perfect conditions for transformation and renewal. The same transformative potential exists within you now. As you continue to release into deeper relaxation, your senses have likely become both more diffuse and more integrated, external stimuli blending with internal awareness. Physical sensations merging with visualized images, thoughts flowing into feelings without clear boundaries. Leaving the night garden through its stone archway, Thorn pauses briefly, inhaling the fragrant air one final time before continuing his rounds. The path now leads upward toward a gentle hill overlooking the village, the highest point in the immediate landscape and the location of the last lanterns he will tend this evening. As he begins this gradual ascent, you might notice your own consciousness beginning a different kind of movement, not upward toward greater alertness, but downward, toward deeper states of pre-sleep awareness. This natural descent requires no effort or direction from you. Like water finding its level, your consciousness seeks its appropriate state according to the conditions we've been creating together. The hill path winds through stands of silver, birch trees whose pale bark seems to generate its own subtle luminescence in the deepening darkness. Their leaves, still clinging to branches despite the advancing season, whisper with any slight movement of air, a sound so gentle it exists at the threshold of perception, more felt than heard. As Thorn moves steadily upward, his silhouette becoming less distinct against the night sky. Your awareness may shift increasingly toward the sensations of your own body and the qualities of your own consciousness. The visualization remains available, a peaceful narrative unfolding in parallel with your journey toward sleep, but your direct experience of physical relaxation and mental quieting may now be taking precedence. This natural shift of attention is perfect and welcome another sign that you're progressing along the path toward deep, restful sleep. The story continues its gentle unfolding, available for your awareness to engage with as much or as little as serves your journey into restful slumber. At the summit of the hill stands a circular structure open to the sky, a simple observatory used by villagers to mark celestial events and seasonal transitions. Its low stone walls provide windbreak and seating, while its open top allows unobstructed views of the night sky. 12 lantern posts are spaced evenly around its circumference, marking the hours and cardinal directions. As Thorn reaches this hilltop sanctuary, the sky has deepened to the rich, dark blue that precedes true night. The first evening star, actually the planet Venus, shines with remarkable brightness in the western sky, while behind it, the trailing edge of sunset creates a final band of amber light along the horizon. To the east, the darkness is more complete, allowing fainter stars to become visible with each passing moment. The lantern keeper pauses before beginning this final lighting sequence, taking time to observe the transitional sky and to feel the gentle evening breeze that flows more freely. At this elevation, his pause mirrors the natural quieting of your own thoughts as you continue to release into deeper relaxation, a moment of perfect stillness before the next phase of transition. Let's use this moment of stillness to bring your awareness to the quality of your breathing, which has likely continued to deepen and slow throughout our journey. Notice how your inhales may now be slightly shorter than your exhales, how the pauses between breaths may have lengthened, how the movement of your ribcage has become so subtle it's barely perceptible. This breathing pattern both reflects and reinforces your progressing relaxation, creating a gentle cycle that carries you deeper with each breath. In the observatory, Thorn begins lighting the 12 lanterns, moving clockwise around the circle. These lanterns are different from others in the village. They're glass clear rather than colored. Their design simple rather than decorative. Their purpose is not to illuminate surroundings, but to provide reference points that frame the sky without, diminishing its darkness. As each lantern ignites, it seems to call forth specific stars or constellations in the deepening sky above, as if the earthly lights and celestial ones are engaged in silent conversation across the vast distance. This relationship between what is close and what is impossibly remote creates a perspective that transcends ordinary concerns, inviting a more expansive awareness from your observation point. This expanding perspective extends to your own experience. The boundaries between different aspects of awareness, physical sensations, visualized images, remembered experiences, approaching dreams become increasingly permeable. Like stars appearing in the darkening sky, elements of consciousness emerge and blend without requiring categorization or analysis. As Thorn lights the 6th lantern, marking the halfway point in the observatory circle, a subtle shift occurs in the quality of darkness surrounding the hilltop. What was simply the absence of daylight begins to take on a more positive character of velvety depth, a dimensional quality that suggests space rather than emptiness. This darkness doesn't diminish or obscure. Rather, it reveals aspects of reality that remain invisible in ordinary light. This transformative darkness extends into your own experience. As you continue to release into deeper relaxation, the quieting of external awareness, the diminishing of analytical thought, the softening of sensory boundaries, these are not losses but revelations. allowing access to states of consciousness that remain unavailable during ordinary wakefulness. The Lantern Keeper continues his clockwise progress, each new flame establishing another reference point in the circle. As the 9th, 10th, and 11th lanterns come to life, the stars above have fully emerged, revealing the spectacular celestial panorama that remains hidden during daylight hours. The Milky Way stretches across the eastern sky like a river of light, while familiar constellations take their positions in the celestial dome. As you observe this magnificent transition from day to night, from ordinary awareness to the threshold of sleep, allow yourself to release any remaining effort to follow the narrative or maintain specific focus. Like the night sky that requires no interpretation to be fully experienced, your journey towards sleep now continues under its own momentum, following natural patterns established over countless nights of human rest. Thorn approaches the final lantern, the 12th in the circle, positioned to mark true north and midnight. This lantern is slightly larger than the others, its flame steadier, its light more constant. As he touches his lighting staff to its wick, the circle of illumination is complete, creating a perfect boundary between earth and sky, between the grounded experience of physical form and the boundless realm of stars and space. With the observatory fully illuminated, the Lantern Keeper moves to its center where a simple wooden stool awaits. Sitting down, he places his lighting staff across his lap and assumes a posture of receptive attention, back straight but not rigid, shoulders relaxed, hands resting palms upward on his thighs. His gaze lifts to the stars above, not focusing on any particular point, but taking in the entire celestial panorama from this central position. Thorn begins a subtle rocking motion forward and back, so gentle it's barely perceptible. This movement has a particular rhythm, synchronized with his breathing and with some deeper cycle that connects individual human experience to larger natural patterns. As you observe this gentle rocking, you might find your own awareness adopting a similar rhythm, a subtle oscillation between focused attention and expanding release. The combination of completed lantern circle, centered keeper, and fully revealed night sky creates a perfect integration of elements earth and heaven. Light and darkness, movement and stillness, the directed action of human hands, and the effortless unfolding of natural processes. This integration extends to your own experience as the boundaries between visualization and direct sensation, between narrative and pure awareness, continue to dissolve. As Thorn maintains his centered presence in the observatory, time itself seems to shift, quality no longer flowing in a linear progression, but expanding outward in all directions simultaneously. This temporal expansion creates a sense of spaciousness within ordinary moments, allowing each breath, each heartbeat, each subtle shift of awareness to exist as complete experiences rather than mere transitions. You may notice that your own sense of time has undergone a similar transformation throughout our journey. What began as a sequential narrative has become increasingly fluid, with moments expanding or contracting according to their natural significance rather than objective measurement. This changing relationship with time is another indication of your approach to sleep's threshold, where ordinary temporal constraints give way to the different rhythms of sleeping consciousness. In the observatory, surrounded by the 12 steady flames and the countless stars above, the Lantern Keeper remains in his centered stillness, not waiting for anything to occur, not working toward any particular outcome, simply being present to the perfect completeness of this moment. His expression suggests neither happiness nor solemnity, but a deeper quality that encompasses and transcends both a peaceful alertness a quiet wonder at the vastness of night sky and the intimate miracle of flame. As your observation of this scene continues to soften and diffuse, allow your awareness to include your own physical state of profound relaxation. Your body has likely reached a remarkable stillness, movement reduced to only what is essential for breathing and circulation. Your muscles have released their daytime tone. Your joints have settled into perfect alignment. Your nervous system has downshifted into its restorative mode. This physical stillness creates ideal conditions for the final transition into sleep, a passage that occurs not through effort or intention, but through perfect allowing. Like the darkness that reveals stars, like the silence that allows subtle sounds to be perceived, this profound physical release creates space for sleep consciousness to emerge naturally and completely. From his position at the observatory center, Thorn eventually rises, gathering his lighting staff with the same unhurried grace that has characterized all his movements. His evening rounds complete, the village fully illuminated for the night hours, he begins the journey back down the hillside toward his small stone cottage where his own rest awaits. The path descends gently, winding among silver birches whose pale trunks create ghostly verticals in the darkness. Unlike his upward journey, when Thorn moved deliberately from lantern to lantern, his homeward path has a more fluid quality, a natural returning rather than a purposeful progression. His steps are slightly longer, slightly quicker, guided by the gentle pull of gravity and the body's innate knowledge of home. As you observe this returning journey, notice how it parallels your own state, no longer actively seeking deeper relaxation, but simply allowing it to unfold, no longer following specific visualizations, but receiving whatever images arise naturally in your transitioning consciousness. This is the perfect receptivity that precedes sleep, where effort dissolves and allowing becomes the primary mode of being. The lantern keeper passes once more near the walled garden of night flowers, though he does not enter it again. From beyond its stone boundary comes the complex fragrance of blossoms now fully open to the darkness: jasmine, evening primrose, moonflower, night blooming cereus, their scents more pronounced than when he tended the garden lanterns earlier. These fragrances reach both Thorn and you, creating another layer of invitation to surrender, to release, to trust the natural unfolding of night's embrace. Continuing downward, the path rejoins the main village streets where all the lanterns now burn with steady flames, creating pools of gentle illumination connected by comfortable shadows. The village has fully transitioned to its nighttime aspect, windows curtained, doors closed, the sounds of day replaced by the subtle symphony of evening, crickets, distant owl calls, the whisper of leaves and occasional breezes, the soft murmur of the river flowing beyond the stone bridge. This sonic landscape, natural sounds embedded in underlying silence, creates a perfect acoustic environment for the approach of sleep. Not complete silence, which can sometimes heighten alertness, but the gentle, predictable sounds that signal safety and normalcy to the deepest parts of your brain. As Thorn walks the quiet streets, these sounds form a subtle backdrop to his returning journey, just as they form a gentle container for your continuing release into deeper relaxation. The lantern keeper passes the village square with its illuminated fountain, the water now appearing silver rather than blue in the combined light of lanterns and emerging stars. He crosses the stone bridge where his evening rounds began, the amber lanterns reflected in doubled flames on the river's surface below. These reflections waver and distort with the water's movement, creating a fluid counterpart to the steady flames above, just as dreams create a fluid counterpart to waking experiences. Finally, Thorn approaches his small stone cottage at the village edge. Unlike other dwellings with their closed curtains and darkened windows, the keeper's home shows a single light lantern of unique design hanging beside his door. Its flame protected from wind by panels of clear glass, its light neither bright nor dim but perfectly calibrated for returning home after darkness has fallen. As he reaches his doorway, the lantern keeper pauses for a moment, turning to look back at the village now fully illuminated by his evenings. Work. From this perspective, the scattered lanterns form a constellation of earthbound, stars, points of light connected by the invisible threads of purpose and care. His expression in this moment suggests satisfaction without pride, completion without finality, the perfect conclusion to a necessary cycle that will begin again with tomorrow's twilight. As Thorn opens his cottage door and steps across the threshold into his private space, allow your awareness to shift more fully to your own physical and mental state. The visualization of the Lantern Keeper's rounds remains available as a gentle container for your experience, but your direct sensation of approaching sleep may now take precedence. The heaviness in your limbs, the slowing of your thoughts, the expansive quality of consciousness that precedes dreams. Inside his cottage, Thorn's evening ritual continues with actions so familiar they require no deliberate attention, hanging his lighting staff on wall hooks designed for this purpose, removing his outer garments, warming the kettle for a final cup of herbal tea that will ease the transition to his own rest. These simple activities form a coda to his public duties, a private ceremony that honors the boundary between service and self-care. As you witness these final preparations, allow me to offer a few gentle affirmations, suggestions that your subconscious mind can receive and integrate even as your conscious awareness continues to dissolve. I release myself completely into sleep's perfect embrace. My body knows exactly how to restore itself through rest. I trust the natural wisdom that governs cycles of waking and sleeping. Each breath carries me deeper into restful slumber. Am completely safe to surrender to sleep's healing presence. My mind processes all experiences with perfect understanding while I rest. I will awaken when the time is right. Refreshed and renewed. In his cottage, Thorn sits in a well-worn armchair beside a small hearth where embers glow with gentle warmth. His cup of tea, chamomile, mint, and lavender from the village gardens releases fragrant steam into the quiet air. His breathing slows, his posture softens, his gaze becomes less focused as he too prepares for the night's rest that he has helped create for others. The Lantern Keeper's day is complete. The village is secured in its gentle illumination. The night flowers open fully to the darkness. The stars continue their ancient patterns overhead. And you, having accompanied us on this drowsy journey, are perfectly positioned to complete your own transition into deep, restful sleep. The narrative now dissolves into its essential elements: gentle sounds, comforting warmth, perfect support, the rhythmic cycle of breath, the natural wisdom of a body that knows exactly how to fall asleep. These elements remain as a protective presence throughout your night, ensuring that your sleep is deep, undisturbed, and completely restorative. Rest now in perfect peace, held in the gentle embrace of night, guided by the soft illumination of distant lanterns and stars. Sleep well, sleep deeply, and when morning comes, awaken refreshed. Your body and mind renewed by this journey through twilight and darkness to the healing realm of dreams. Let Elara Finch's drowsy tale of the Lantern Keeper fade now into the background of your consciousness. its purpose fulfilled as you cross the final threshold into sleep itself, asleep, as natural and necessary as the night that Thorn so carefully welcomes with each lantern's flame. Sleep now. Rest completely. All is well.